Hello guys, so today we're going to be doing a video about the May sale which started today at 11 AM British time. This sale will be going on for exactly 1 week, so on the 14th at 11 AM British time, the sale will end and the packs that we're going to talk about in this video will be removed from the store and be unavailable for purchase. So remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and let's get into the video. So I'm gonna just say quickly at the start that these vehicles tend to come back for events like National Days or, Army Day or Air Force Day or events like this. They tend to bring these packs back for like a limited period of time. But the discount is usually 30%, whereas right now it's 50%, so it will still be better to buy these now if you really want them. One of these actually really surprised me that it's being removed considering it was recently buffed. But yeah, let's answer the question, which of these are actually good and which of these are actually worth your money? So we'll start off with the AH64D Netherlands pack in the French tree. Now, first off, I'm going to say, France doesn't actually have a lineup at 11.7, so this thing might as well just be 12.0. There are literally 0 French vehicles at 11.7, or 11.3 for that matter, so yeah. It does have all the standard features of a high-tier helicopter. It has Hellfires with lofting and decent range, it has thermals, radar warning receiver, all the things that you would expect from a top-tier helicopter. But I have to ask, what does this thing do differently from the 11.0 Eurocopter in the French tree that also uses Hellfires? Yes, the Apache is going to be a little bit better in most regards, but in terms of CAS potential, it's not really that much different. So considering there's no lineup for it, it doesn't really do anything better than a tech tree alternative. It doesn't have a role. Because now you can grind helicopters with tanks by just ticking a little box. Yeah, I struggle to see the value or the place of this pack. Unless you're a Netherlands enjoyer, for example, you are Dutch, I don't really see a reason to buy this. Next up, we have the Kfir Canard pack for the Israeli Air Tree. And I've had this plane for a couple of years now. Honestly, it's a really good little fighter. It's very agile, it's quite similar to the Mirages if you've played any of those in the French tree. Not entirely surprising considering it's based on the Mirage design, very closely. So it shares a lot in common with those. Unfortunately not with the missiles though, it only carries a pair of AIM-9Gs which are a little bit lackluster considering this plane is at 11.0. But if you actually possess a pair of hands and know how to use them, this is quite a good plane. It's a really good dogfighter. Just as always, especially at these higher tiers, you need to be on the lookout for third parties. It's very easy for someone to come and jam a missile up your tailpipe while you're dogfighting someone else when you're nice and slow. But in a dogfight, there isn't really much that beats this thing. I will also add, not the greatest CAS plane, it only has access to dumb bombs, so yeah, I wouldn't advise it. And there are much better choices in the Israeli tree for CAS if that's what you're looking for. If you're going to compare it to the premium nets, I'd say I prefer the Kfir Canard, but really it's personal preference. If you'd rather go for the nets, then fair enough, but I personally prefer the Kfir Canard. I'd say if you want to grind the Israeli tree, yeah, this is worth a pickup. I wouldn't say it's like of great urgency, you must buy this, but I'd say it's decent and I'd say it's worth the money, especially when it's 50% off. Next we have the Mi 35M pack for China. This is another heli pack that really doesn't have a place. China doesn't actually have a lineup at 10.7, but it does have a very strong lineup at 11.0, which this could fit into. But again, as I've said before, premium helicopters are questionable. There is an 11.0 helicopter in the Chinese tech tree, the helicopter tech tree. And really, the Mi 35 doesn't really offer any meaningful difference to the Z9WA, which is in the tech tree. And considering you can just grind the tech tree with tanks, I really don't see the point in getting a premium heli that doesn't really have a niche. Like, maybe if you really enjoy the Soviet, like, Mi-24, Mi-35 playstyle, then, like, sure, but the Chinese equivalent in the tree really just does the same thing, but for free. Just pick up a premium tank and grind the tree as you would anyway. Next up, we have the Saab J35XS pack in the Swedish tree. Now, this is the one I was talking about earlier that really surprised me, because usually when these packs are being removed, it's because they're not selling quite as well, and, you know, they use a bit of FOMO and a bit of these, like, national days and types of things to increase the sales a bit. But the J35 is a very popular premium and a very strong premium as well. Again, as I said, it's been recently buffed. It was moved down to 10.3, so it gets decent matchmaking. And on top of that, it also gets the funny button now as well, so it can do super maneuverability, it can do Cobra maneuvers and all of that stuff. How useful that actually is in-game is a different question, but it does have access to that now as well. In my opinion, this is definitely the best premium jet in the Swedish tech tree. It has 6 missiles, but limited flares. It has IRST, which is really nice for, like, locking onto people from a bit further away and giving lead. And you can take rocket pods for flares. Extra flares, that is. Because you do have a spare pair of pylons that aren't used for anything else. You can't carry missiles on them, so, I mean, you might as well take them anyway, right? You can either use them as bonus flares, or you can use them to pop some ground targets at the end of the match if there's no one to kill. I actually have a full review of this, which will be linked up in the top right corner now. So if you are interested in this very powerful plane, go check out the review. But the short version here is, this is a very strong plane, and if you're considering a Swedish premium jet, definitely pick this up now before it goes away. At 50% off, this is a really good deal. I have a lot of games in this thing, and I absolutely do not regret buying it. And speaking of regretful decisions, we have the F4J UK Phantom 2 pack for the British. Now, as a certified Britisher myself, it pains me to say, but these 2 British premiums that are coming up are, to use a YouTube-friendly term, not very good. This Phantom has a reputation by now of being bad, and it's for a good reason. It combines all of the worst features of the American F4J in the tech tree and the British FGR2 in its tech tree. It has the worst ordnance and just generally smaller selection of bombs and rockets and things that the British Phantoms have, as well as the worst radar missiles and no helmets mounted sight, like the tech tree Phantoms that Britain has access to. However, the reason that those British Phantoms are still the same battle rating is because they have upgraded Rolls-Royce engines. But as this F4J UK is based on the variant that basically the UK rushed into service before they could do the upgrades, it doesn't have the improved engines either. It also doesn't have access to incendiaries, so it can't even base bomb effectively. You have to take like thousands of pounds of bombs and everyone's going to beat you to the base. So I also forgot to mention, it doesn't get the Agile Eagle upgrade with the combat flaps, or the self-deploying leading edge slats. So it can't dogfight, it has a weak engine, no helmet mounted sight, worse radar missiles, worse bombs, but it's still the same battle rating. It's worse than every other Phantom at this battle rating in the game, and it's not even close. This is a terrible plane, do not buy it. And next we have the Challenger 2 OES pack, again for Britain. And continuing the trend of dreadful British premiums, we have this Challenger 2. Now, I had the common sense not to buy this, but I did buy the Challenger DS from when I still had hope, and I played a few games. I could not get any good footage. I died constantly because, honestly, the Challenger DS is pretty mid, and I played badly. But honestly, UK top tier is really, really bad. It doesn't get better. Honestly, all of top tier is kind of questionable with the CAS and the bad maps that are designed for World War II tanks, but we have modern MBTs, and there are a lot of problems at top tier. But on top of all of that, the Challenger 2 is one of the weakest top tier main battle tanks. It has a terrible win rate. You have basically the lowest win rate that's not America or Israel. Because while America can justify its low win rate with questionable players, the British don't have that excuse. You have a huge, vulnerable, weak upper front plate or lower front plate. Your front plate is basically flat and is a big shoot here sign. And it has basically no armor. It's one of the easiest MBTs to clap. It's fat, it's slow. On the positive side, the turret armor is fairly good, but honestly, all top tier MBTs have good turret armor. On top of that, it does get an above average shell for the BR. It's not too bad. And the reload is good. The reload is 5 seconds with an ace crew, which is actually really good. But that just doesn't offset the weaknesses of it being big, fat, slow, and easy to kill. Although I would say if you really want to play top tier Britain, despite all the things I've just said, it's not the worst value proposition known to man. It's definitely better than the F4J UK is in terms of value for money, shall we say, but that isn't exactly a high bar to clear. So, out of all of these packs, would I recommend any of them? Yeah, the Kfir Canard and the J35. They're both probably worth picking up, but, you know, I went over that in a bit more detail in their sections. So, if you learned something new or found this video interesting, God only knows why, like and subscribe for more content. Also, my links are down below. Come and join my Discord, join my squadron, join my things. Thank you. Bye.